Good evening, friends. Good evening, and welcome to the page of History That Matters. Today, we have a special program which is known as Kashmir Matters. And we have with us a very special personality you can see on the screen, eminent historian Subhash Vibhushan, Professor Kapil Kumar. And the topic is Kashmir and the matters, important matters related to Kashmir. Professor Kapil Kumar sir, I welcome you to this page, and rather I would say this is your own page, own platform. I welcome you. बहुत बहुत स्वागत है सर आपका.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. And
Thank you, sir.
We can start straight away.
Yes, sir. Please,
See,
please. I
I
request you
must
to brief
say,
us about the present situation of Kashmir now. Please, if you
I
can
must
start with
say,
that.
I must say that you did it very timely today to speak on Kashmir, uh, because the last few days what we have been seeing is something very vital for our nation in relation to Kashmir. We have seen the statements of Pakistani ruling party spokesperson, that lady, who said that now Taliban will assist us in taking over Kashmir. We have seen some other utterances also that now the Talibanis will help Pakistan and all these terrorists who are trained for Taliban after Afghanistan. They will move into India because Kashmir is their next target. Now, I must say one thing here, that we never took this lightly, and we can never take this lightly, because for a simple reason that it is not just Kashmir which is under threat by these brutes, but if you look at the ICSIS map which they produced of their own Islamic thing, they built it right from Syria to Burma. And it is not just Kashmir, it is whole of India they have included in it. We hear time and again voices on Pakistani TV, particularly one that Lal Topiwala who comes, those who talk of Ghazwa-e-Hind, which is taught in madrasas over there, that how they have to do it. And the recent developments in Afghanistan, Biden has not only opened the gates for Ghazwa-e-Hind, but he has opened the gates for Ghazwa-e-Europe. And you will see what happens in the next few months with Turkey taking a lead over there for establishing its Caliphate, the Khalifa rule. And simultaneously, I was tweeting yesterday that what has happened in Afghanistan now, is there any sense in using the word terrorism in UN or at international forums? Because these big powers have gifted Taliban to gifted Afghanistan to terrorists. And now, this whole thing which is happening has a direct bearing on us. And there are much similarities of 1947 and what has happened today. I'll narrate one incident. In September 1947, I think it is 9 September or 11 September, I'm very bad at exact dates, a massive riot took place in Peshawar. And this was not a Hindu-Muslim communal riot. This was rioting and killing and fight between the supporters of Pathanistan and the Muslim League supporters of Pakistan. This is a very crucial bearing, and I'll come to it a little later. What had happened was that with partition, the boundaries of British India, which touched Afghanistan, had now become the boundaries of Pakistan with Afghanistan. And you see, even today, Taliban is not accepting the Durand line between Pakistan and Afghanistan. At that time, the northwest west frontier provinces never wanted to go with Pakistan. Basha Ghaffar Khan had clearly stated that either make us
Right.
independent or let us go with India. The argument was coming that if an East Pakistan could be created, why can't a West India be created? Because NWFP, Northwest Frontier Provinces, had never been under the Muslim League. And then there emerged the demand of Pathanistan. And the
Okay.
then Afghan government in 1947, it recognized that demand and supported that demand of Pakistan. There are documents and documents, Liaquat Ali, Jinnah, they all running after the British to put some sense into Afghanistan and they should not support this demand. Now, Muslim League always had eyes on Kashmir, there is no doubt about it. And much before partition, we have evidences. In fact, Raghavendra Tawar has brought out a very good book on partition and another on Kashmir, in which he has provided all these evidences that how the students of madrasas in Lahore were being shifted to Kashmir from 45 uh, after this direct action day, which Jinnah had celebrated in 1946, or 15th August 1946, and the Muslim League propaganda was going very much there in Kashmir at that time. Secondly, another interesting fact of history, which is not told to people or youngsters on history books, that in June 46, Mountbatten, the great Mountbatten, whom Nehru made the first Governor General of India, I laugh at it, that a power which exploited us, massacred us, and all, their last representative is made the Governor General of India with slogan of Pandit Nehru ki Jai in the parliament that day, who takes oath of Governor General in the name of King, not a constituent assembly. Now, Mountbatten visited Kashmir in June 47. For one day, he met the Raja there and he told the Raja not to join any union. This is very crucial because some of the Congress historians have tried to project it that he went to, at Nehru's thing, he went to tell the Raja to join the Indian Union, which is absurd, totally absurd. And put into the mind of Hari Singh that he should have a Switzerland type independent state, which should be recognized by both India and Pakistan. And this is what he did. And for a long time, next 2 3 months, Hari Singh kept singing that tune, though there were differences and all going on in between. Don't forget another historical fact also, that when the cabinet mission was here in India in 1946,
Right.
Sheikh Abdullah had been arrested by Hari Singh in Kashmir. And Nehru went to Kashmir to protest against that, leaving the negotiations with the cabinet mission, though he was the president of the Congress to safeguard Sheikh Abdullah. Nehru was also arrested. And then the Viceroy, Wavell, had intervened to get Nehru released from the Kashmir jail at that time. So Nehru had a direct grudge with Hari Singh, a personal grudge with Hari Singh over these issues related to that. And why these incidents are important? Because they shaped the entire Nehruvian policy towards Kashmir during the period 47, 48, 49, and even later periods into that. Now, once this Pathanistan thing started and all, the Pakistani leadership was terribly afraid. Okay, if this side Afghanistan supports these Pathans, and if that side India starts supporting them, because they were afraid of what Patel was hoping for Hyderabad or Junagadh and the whole integration aspect
Mhm.
going
Right.
on at that time. So, how to do that? And they adopted a policy of killing two birds at a time. What they did, among the Pathans, they started preaching jihad. And jihad against whom? Jihad against the Hindu ruler of Kashmir, under whom they said atrocities were being done on Muslims, and jihad against the Raja of Patiala, who was responsible for the killings of Muslims according to them in 1947 at the time of partition. It was not just to stop at Kashmir. Their aim was not only Kashmir. In fact, Liaquat Ali had reached Atokabad on 26th October 47. 21st October they attacked. 26th October, hoping that next day he will fly the Pakistani flag in Srinagar, and then their forces will move to Patiala, capture Patiala, and put up the flag over there because they had eyes both on Kashmir as well as Punjab. This is another fact of history which doesn't come out openly, though it's now all there in the documents which have been exchanged by between the military high command of India and Pakistan, because both were British, and the document exchange between London and Karachi and London and Delhi at that time, published by Lionel Carter in the two volumes which he has brought out on Kashmir, and two volumes which he has brought out on partition witnessed, and 1 year after partition, these volumes which he has done into that. Now, in such a situation, what was the alternative? And the alternative they found was that let us convert into an Islamic war by calling it a jihad. And then these Kabilis were told, don't fight with us and all. It is Islam which is in danger in India, so we have to attack them. And they transported these Kabilis in trolleys, in trains, in those lorries and all to Rawalpindi, which was kept as a base from where Kashmir was to be attacked. And many officers of Pakistani army were on paper shown on leaf. And now, in fact, Ravendra even researched out the tailor in Lahore, in whose shop the salwars and those kurta, what you call that salwar and that with the Pathans wear, were
Right.
being, were being stitched in bulks to be given to the
Okay.
Pakistani army officers.
Okay.
And when I look at history, you see how history repeats itself. The same is happening today. Then the name is Taliban, and how many of
Right.
the ISI and how many of the Pakistani special forces, are there in between leading the Taliban and even into the Panjshir Valley. But the name is there,
Mhm.
so their documents have been caught and they have come out.
Right.
On the
Right.
I was trying to connect these events,
Mhm.
that how these things happen at that time. And another thing, what they did, the same tactic which they adapted in 47 was adopted after the Russian occupation of Afghanistan. But don't forget, Taliban was born in Pakistan. And at that time also, the slogan given was Islam is in danger. Russia has come, the communist Russians have come in Afghanistan, so Islam is in danger, and we have to fight the communists over there. So that time it was against the communists, the Islam is in danger. The jihad call given by Pakistani. And this brings a very interesting fact to my mind that the Pakistani army has realized that they can't win in direct battles. So this is the way they should adopt. And this is what they have been adopting and fooling the world all over in this respect. So these Kabilis were made to attack. One narrative from the history of India, and particularly the history of Kashmir, that was eroded is a young boy of 19 years old, Munawwar Sherwani. I met his family recently when I went to Srinagar last year for a seminar. This 19-year boy had a motorcycle with him. And wherever these Pakistani raiders were coming, he will drive to that place and tell them, don't go this way. The Indian forces have arrived. And he stalled their halt at many places. Stalled their march at many places. And those 2 days become so crucial for the Indian forces that the Indian forces could reach Srinagar. And when the Pakistanis came to know that how they have been duped by Munawwar, he was cut into pieces and thrown. This coming of raiders, what we call raiders now, you see, crossing the border from Afghanistan to India, I'll call the word India, was not a new thing. Because when the snow comes in Afghanistan, these people would migrate to India for jobs and all. You know, they went up to Calcutta also. Kabuliwala is the story which Gurudev
Right.
wrote.
Yeah, by Tagore, by Tagore.
All, you know, they do that. And what used to happen, that when they will cross the border, if they had any gun or any arms with them, they will be kept at the border post. And when they will go back after earning their wages or whatever, some money and all, they will be given back their rifle or whatever their order was. And what the Pakistanis were doing now, instead of holding those weapons over there, they were providing him more modern weapons and more new weapons to go and fight in India, and telling them, why do you go and work and all and all? Here is an open area, go and loot as much as you can. And that's what the raiders did. They didn't spare any Hindu, they didn't spare any Sikh, they didn't spare any Muslim in Kashmir. Whosoever came in their way, they looted villages, they raped women over there, and they did everything what they could do. And this is all on record. Some records of the British were saying that. And this is what happened. And in between, Mountbatten was playing his other game. When Patel raised this question in the cabinet, that these raiders have attacked, and before they can move further, let us use the Air Force and bomb their camps and bomb their routes from which they were coming. Patel was overruled by Nehru. And then this whole thing, Nehru Sahab, the great internationalist, how can we intervene? Kashmir is not a part of us and all that. Before I go further, I want to point out this to the younger generation. One thing
Yes, sir.
very
Please,
clear.
please.
See, this whole stupidity, when even when today hears India was born in 47, there was nothing like India. Nonsense. Forget the ancient past. I'm not going to it. I'm not going into Ashoka's map of the Mauryan Empire and all that. But 2 points I want to make. In 1857, the whole of India, for the first time, had accepted Bahadur Shah Zafar as its emperor and
Yes.
fought under his flag and slogan against the British. And in 47, when the British say, the British use the term British Empire, was not all India a part of the British Empire, which had two components? One's the princely states and the other provinces.
Right.
That is what made the British Empire, Indian Empire. That is what India was. Now, if you leave and you say that Paramount C has left and all, and we declare these states independent and all that, it is your doing. You are doing it. Because if you will recall, this Nawab of Bhopal was the chairman of the Chamber of Princes at that time. And he had even pleaded with British that transfer power to a third dominion. It's a dominion, it's not a independent country, it's two dominions. And treat these princely states also as a dominion. The configuration of these princely states as a dominion. And treat it as a third country. Which could not happen because of the efforts of Sardar Patel. So this whole stupid thing that India did not exist, in India this and that, and Kashmir was not a part of India, and because the treaty is not there and all, how can the forces be sent and all, was going on. But ultimately, you know that Sardar Patel got the accession document. And from this started a new drama, new political drama on the Indian scenario. There was no condition in that of plebiscite or anything else. It was Mountbatten who wrote on it. It is a temporary document till the plebiscite is held. And Nehru very coolly agreed to that. Everything he will agree to that, what Mountbatten has to say. Whether it is the INA soldier to parade in Red Fort on 16th August 47 or anything else, he'll do that. As per General Manekshaw's account, who was an adjutant to Sardar Patel at that time, who says that when the document was shown, and Nehru was still talking, I'll go to UN, I'll go to this, that, international things, because India had won independence through that ahimsa, the stupid notion which they propagated all throughout during that time. And that's what Patel said, Mr. Nehru, do you want to lose Kashmir? And Nehru kept quiet on that. And Patel told Lieutenant Manekshaw, go, here are your orders. And Patel had made all the arrangements that the Indian troops fly immediately to Srinagar and all. Now a very interesting thing happened. Once the Indian forces reached there, the dream of Liaquat Ali to put up a flag in Srinagar on 26th October fell down.
Put up a
And now,
flag in Srinagar.
yeah, they wanted to hoist the Pakistani flag on Srinagar on 26th of October 47.
Before the Indian forces could reach.
Before the Indian, they never expected that the Indian forces would reach. Because
Okay.
in a way, Mountbatten was helping them out. And let me tell you one thing. The British always wanted the valley of Kashmir to go to Pakistan. And I'll come to this a little later.
Okay, sir. You please continue, sir.
Ample documentation to prove that out.
Please continue, sir.
So now that dream could not be fulfilled. They were told by Mountbatten also, and they were told by the other British also, look, now Indian forces have moved, accession treaty has been signed and all, so you can't move in. So Liaquat Ali tried another trick at that time. He wanted that ceasefire should be declared on 26th of October. You can understand what it meant.
Yes, sir.
Abhi we see the map of Pak-occupied Kashmir. But if it were to have been 26th October 47, then POK would have been right up to Srinagar, outskirts.
Right up to Srinagar. Right.
Outskirts of. And that was refused. Patel and all just threw it out. Nehru kept mum at that moment. Maybe no instructions came from Mountbatten and all. So the war began, and our forces were driving them back and all. And in between, Nehru went to United Nations again on the advice of Mountbattens. Internationalize the issue. And I have a technical point to ask you. United Nations was made to solve disputes among the nations. Excuse me. And if Pakistan was claiming that we have not attacked India, it is the Kabilis, the tribesmen who have attacked India. So these Kabilis were no nation. If that argument is to be taken. And there were no nation's army. It was only a jihad, Islamic jihad.
They were only tribal forces. They were only tribal forces.
If we believe that. So then why should Nehru go to UN? Set them right. Why go to UN? The war went on. We have the heroic deeds of Colonel Usmani, Brigadier Rajinder Singh. And what is said is that Hari Singh, that night after he sent that integration accession document, he had told his bodyguard that though if the Indian forces reach Srinagar by morning, wake me up. Otherwise, shoot me in the bed. Another very interesting documentation of this period is there that Sheikh Abdullah was hobnobbing with everyone. If he comes to Jalandhar, he'll say in his speech, Nehru's Kashmir will be with India. On the other hand, now there are documents to show that he was in constant touch with the so-called puppets of the occupied areas in Kashmir, which the Pakistanis had set up, and he was also in touch with Liaquat. And there are documents to show that he even talked with Ismail Khan, is the name I think of that POK. That okay, you form the government and all, and he'll be too happy to support them and all that kind of thing. Those documentation is there. Because those who say that he was all for India and all that, and later on, that's not a correct version of the thing. He was always hobnobbing with Pakistanis and with these raiders and all those aspects over there. We knew during this period Gilkit went away because of treachery. And the treachery was done by not a Pakistani, not a Muslim, but by Major Brown, a British officer, who killed the Maharaja's forces over there, arrested the governor and all, and handed over Gilkit to Pakistan. And this Major Brown remained in Pakistan army for a long time. He was given the highest award in Pakistan, the government highest national award in Pakistan. Till 1958, he was there. Now the war was on. Our forces were doing well. We were moving. So the funniest part in this war was that the commanders of both sides were British. Stracy, I think, that side, and O'Connell. And these commanders were in the know-how of what was happening on both sides. What are the attack plans? Tack goes the telegram to Karachi from Delhi. And what is from their side? Comes the telegram from Karachi to Delhi. Copies to London. Fully the British are enjoying this game. And their concern was one, that the British officers in the Pakistani army should not be used, should not be killed, and all those kind of concerns are also there in these documents, which have been declassified now, which we see. Now, in this situation, there were negotiations to be held between India and Pakistan at the behest of England. Jinnah and Nehru were supposed to meet in London. December 48, I think. And before that, some very revealing thing which was hidden from the public eye happened. I have respected VP Menon a lot. People respect him a lot that he helped Sardar Patel in the integration of states and all that. But now these documents prove that he was a real loyal ICS officer of the British on the ground. He had leaked out Operation Polo of Hyderabad to the
Okay.
British. And in that letter, he says, this decision has been taken. I can't tell you the date because the operative part is not in my knowledge.
Okay.
And now on Kashmir, what he does, he says, he writes a letter to Mountbatten. And then he writes a letter to the Chief of Indian Army, the British here, telling him that please ensure that Mountbatten reads my letter which I have sent to him before the meeting takes place between Jinnah and Nehru. And Mountbatten should inform that to the British Prime Minister. And he sends a formula in that letter. You heard Gilani, someone alone talk sometime that Patel had agreed for Kashmir to be given to Pakistan. It was not Patel. It was VP Menon who gave the formula that the Dogra areas of Jammu should be given to India.
Okay.
In Ladakh, there should be a plebiscite. And the valley should be given to Pakistan.
Okay.
And he said, you get this formula proposed in that meeting. And I will agree my ministers to accept. I'll make my ministers agree to accept it. Damn this VP man. So always traitors, always traitors, always traitors. Nation is nothing. This is what they do. Okay, the Britishers have left, and still you are their loyal servant, being their informer and giving formulas to them. And then claiming you are a big nationalist and you have played a big role in integration of India. That's another fight of research these days. There's a very other interesting thing. Lord Mountbatten's daughter has written that her father told his mother, "Okay, you ring Nehru to agree to ceasefire
Okay.
between India and Pakistan." And she writes that my mother asked, "Will Nehru agree?" And he said, "If you say, Nehru will agree." See, this question of ceasefire came again. And the Indian army clearly told that we are winning. Let us throw out these Pakistanis from the soil of Kashmir. Let us take back those areas which are there. Then only go for ceasefire.
Mm. Okay.
But the British pressure was there on Nehru. Then the personal pressure was there of Lady Mountbatten. Mountbatten's pressure was there. So ultimately, Nehru agreed for partition. And this is how Pak occupied Kashmir was created. People must know that how Pak occupied Kashmir was created. And not only this, if you see the history after that, giving Article 370,
Right.
someone said Patel had agreed for 370. I laughed at that Congress spokesperson speaking on TV channels. Patel refused. Uh, this fellow, Baba Sahib Ambedkar, he threw out Sheikh Abdullah of his house when he went arguing for 370 for there. But they gave 370. We know the whole story of Shama Prasad Mukherjee, that how he led
Yes, sir.
the movement
Yes, sir. Very
in
important.
Vidhan Ek Samvidhan,
Right.
imprisoned and killed under suspicious circumstances.
Right.
And then it's a long story that
Right.
not only
Sir, then another important aspect I would like to know, that the aspect of insurgency, the influence of Pakistan in case of insurgency, and the tragedies which the Kashmiri Pandits faced. If you can please put some light on that for our viewers.
okay. You see, in one is that not only 370 but 35A was introduced,
Right.
and how the people were treacherously led into things. In 1955 or 56, there was a strike of these Safai Karamcharis in Kashmir, and Ghulam Bakshi, I think he was the chief minister. He wrote to Nehru to help us in that, and Nehru sent 200 Valmiki families from Gurdaspur to Kashmir, who were given pattas in Urdu that you are the citizens of Kashmir. But you know what was written in those pattas in the last? That you and your forthcoming generations in Kashmir will be doing only this work. This is how the Dalits were treated. Those who talk big, big things today, Ovyasi and other things and all, that there should be alliance between Dalit and Muslim and all those kind of things. They're not. They should be. People should be aware of this history, that how the Dalits were treated in Kashmir, who were taken there, and then there starts a process. When first time Sheikh Abdullah was arrested, we have letters of Nehru written to Karan Singh. Sheikh Abdullah was not arrested by central government. He was arrested by Karan Singh, who was the Sadr Riyasat then after Hari Singh gave up. And Nehru writes a letter, don't use the Indian forces if you are arresting him. And another letter, how long you will be able to keep him under arrest? And when Sheikh Abdullah is released, first thing Nehru does is to invite him to Delhi and holds a 3-day meeting with him in Tinmurti House. That's what's happened. Pakistan kept his claim. We also know that how we lost parts of Aksai Chin to China, which Pakistan gifted. And what was Nehru's comment on that in the Parliament House? When this member from Saharanpur, Mr. Tyagi, he raised it in the Parliament. And Nehru says that the area where even a straw doesn't goes up has gone to China. And that member of Parliament took away his cap and showed his bald head. And he said that if there are no hair on my head, should I get my head cut? How trivially they had taken the whole out. I'll say one thing. 65 was an eye opener for us. 62 was an eye opener for us in one sense. We lost the war. It's not the Indian army which lost the war. Indian army was made to lose the war as there was no political will among the leadership to fight out the Chinese. I've been myself and seen those bunkers and all that right from Gumla to Sela Pass and Bombdila and all. I've visited these areas. Even Nathula. So, but one way it opened India's eyes, that India started looking a little bit towards defense, because there was a time which was needed during Nehru's time. Who will attack India? We don't need an Indian army. You know, even when this war is going with Pakistan in 47 on Kashmir, many chief ministers wrote to Nehru. They were known as prime ministers at that time in the states. That we should call back the Azad Hind Fauj. And what Nehru writes to them? Give them the jobs of home guards or the
Jobs
railway
of
corps.
home guards.
Yes.
Home guards.
The letter is published in Selected Works of Nehru, Volume 2, second series. Or employ them in the railway corps. And one more thing, he doesn't stop there. He says, don't keep these all people in one unit. Can you understand what kind of a scare of Bose and INA was there on Nehru's mind? That's a separate story. But at a crucial time, when there is a war going on with Pakistan, there are trained army officers and soldiers who have just come out with the experience of fighting the British. Our great Prime Minister will not use them against Pakistan, whereas Habibur Rahman and Kiani, they were fighting from the Pakistan side.
Yes.
Because they went to Pakistan. Nehru had refused, that we won't let the and that too on Mountbatten and O'Kinley's suggestion, that we won't take the INA back into Indian Army. So Sardar Patel had insisted that they should be taken back. But even in that crucial time in a war with Kashmir, this did not happen. It went like that. Now comes this story of later on. Sheikh Abdullah arrested, released, Mrs. Gandhi going with the pact with Sheikh Abdullah, unofficial pacts. Sheikh Abdullah was not the chief minister and all that and all. But she goes into agreements. His heart is changed, he appears a changed man and this and that. All these aspects, in fact, while I was making the Prime Minister's Museum recently, writing panels on that, I found all these things going on over there. Then comes the 71 war. Again, we lose an opportunity to settle the Kashmir thing.
Right.
More than 90,000 Pakistani prisoners we had. We knew that it was the weak point of Pakistan. But as our leaders like flattery. And Bhutto said, Madam, you have won the war, and now I am entirely in your hands. So Bhutto is conceded those things, and the Kashmir thing remains. Same. After 71, Pakistan learnt a lesson that they cannot win from India in a direct war.
Yes, right.
So the strategy changed, the tactics changed, and they went into proxy war by doing separatist propaganda in Kashmir, creating separatists, pumping in money, and all whatever aspects are there. But I'll also blame our center. Because this is expected out of Pakistan. He's our enemy. He has eyes on Kashmir. So Pakistan will do everything. The questions come, what are we doing? Why we adopt a soft line? If they are sending terrorists or they are attacking, we welcome them or we release them. And a major turning point came in 1988, if I'm not wrong, 87 or 88, when these others formed a Muslim United Front and they were contesting the election. And I have first hand info, not from one, but from a group of CRPF officers whom we were training when the Rapid Action Force was formed on social reality, contemporary social realities. That in that elections, the people in Kashmir shouted CRPF Zindabad.
Okay.
And why? Because these Abdullahs, they would never allow the others to hold even rallies also. And CRPF gave protection. So people could raise their voice. And this role of CRPF was very much appreciated. And when the counting was going on, see, very conveniently people hide those facts. You know, if you talk to Abdullahs, they will not speak of it. You talk to Mehbooba, she will not speak of that. And when the counting was going on, I think out of a total of 71 or 80 seats, MUF was winning on 21 seats. So the National Conference could have still formed its government. But these Abdullahs, they killed that democratic process. The polling agents of MUF and all were thrown out. Results were manipulated. And all these people had contested, who became later on separatists and even terrorists, Yasin Malik and all that, they had contested that election. So if you say that they didn't participate in the democratic process, this would not be a right thing to say as a historian on my part. It's a different matter that they changed their ideologies and they went to the other side later on. But they did participate in it. But it is our leadership which failed because the center had a very soft corner for Sheikh Abdullah and the Abdullah family. Then Sheikh Abdullah was, I think it was 87, if I'm not wrong. Sheikh Abdullah was, this Farooq Abdullah was removed by Gul
Hmm.
Shah. That came, I think, 89. And that's the time the great Mufti Saeed Saab, who contested from Muzaffarnagar, I think Kairana or Muzaffarnagar, one of these seats, or we went and canvassed for him because we were canvassing for Jan Morcha at that time. And I repent that incident so much in my life. I went and confessed for a terrorist supporter to it. And then we have the story of his daughter's kidnapping over there, fake kidnapping and all, and release of terrorists and all. And first time starting the killings of Hindus in Kashmir, Kashmiri Pandits, done at the behest of ISI, strict slogan of Islam given over there. And on the basis of that, there was Islam, there were also economic factors. They forced many Kashmiri Pandits to sell off their properties at throwaway prices, threatening. All this went on from the mosque, loudspeakers. Where was our country at that time? Where were the so-called secularists at that time? Secularism means that in own country you are butchered and you are killed and you are thrown out of your homes. Another partition for Kashmiri Pandits after Boddhisatya. Where was our intelligentsia at that time? The so-called intellectuals, this award Vapsi gang, where were they? The liberals, where were they? Or were the Kashmiri Pandits not human beings for them? Were they goats? That they should be done Qurbani of them? Not ever. And then we know the story how there was a minister whose so many relatives who are in jails as terrorists and terrorist sympathizers, they were released from jails. They shout at Kandahar that India released these four. Those four were released to save the Indian lives from Kandahar on the Indian Airlines plane. But why did you release so many terrorists before that? You couldn't do that. So I think I'll stop here because it's a very sad thing.
Yes.
I think I crossed my time, which I had told you. So, or
Okay.
maybe we can have 5-7 minutes of question answers going
Yes, sir.
into
We
this.
can have 5-7 minutes. Some of our friends have also joined. Let me see. So Maharaj has joined. If you have
Okay.
any question to ask to Professor Kapil Kumar, you can ask.
And the story goes on, it's a live issue, it's a burning issue
Right.
for us. And the challenge lies before the central government that what we promised that after abrogation of 370 and all, what the life would be,
Right.
those promises have to
Mhm.
be fulfilled over there.
So one of our viewer has asked a question that having union territories other than a state, whether it is beneficial for the administration of Kashmir or not. What is your opinion?
You see, there is a process. And why the union territory is given? Because there is a reason behind that in Kashmir. Do you know the amount of corruption in Kashmir? The central money which used to go to Kashmir, where did it go? And don't forget that the bureaucracy of the state there is still the same appointed by these three families who looted Kashmir.
Right.
Their relatives, and you see what is happening to the Roshni landscape also. So it is from that angle, this is not going to be a long-term process. The process has started, elimination and of state assemblies and giving it statehood and all. But an in-between transitory thing that some of the benefits of the schemes of center and all which should be brought over there. You never know. Otherwise, someone like your Mamta says in Bengal, we won't implement this policy of the center, or your Maharashtra says, I will not let CBI enter. It would have started over there. So, as a transition phase, that is there, as a transition phase to weed out the terrorists from there is there. And we are seeing the results now, that how the local population is pointing out at the terrorists, informing about them, and they are being wiped out. And now a very interesting thing has happened. I was quite shocked 2 days back when both these Omar Abdullah, Omar and Farooq, and Mehbooba gave statements against the Taliban. Arey, you cry for Pakistan every day, Pakistan, Pakistan, Pakistan. And now how are you talking against Taliban? Because Mehbooba ji, if Taliban comes, then your politics is finished. You will be made to sit in a burqa inside the house and cook biryani and cook gushtaba and cook rista in Kashmir. So I don't believe them. Because their hearts are with Pakistan. And a firm stand has to be taken in this regard by the center. I'll say one thing. Gone are the days when we can offer our one cheek if someone hits on this cheek. Gone are the days when I should wait that someone should hit me first and then I will box the person. We have to build an India where we have to be so strong that no hand should dare to rise against us. And we should have the strength to cut that hand before it reaches my cheek. And this is essential.
Sir, one last question which I would like to ask. Somebody has...
Sure, please.
Yeah, one last question which we have is how serious the issue related to China is as far as Kashmir is concerned.
How serious? The Chinese tried their best.
Right.
Chinese tried their best in Galwan. They sought even help from Pakistan. They brought in the terrorists also there because their soldiers can't fight at those heights. They had to retreat. But never trust the dragon. Never trust the dragon and never trust the jihadis. So the threat is serious, very serious. You have seen the other biological weapon which China threw, COVID, and how China is helping the terrorists now, Talibanis and all in Afghanistan. This new alliance which has emerged between Turkey and China and Pakistan. So India has not to be alert only. India has to go all out on all fronts, whether it is industry, whether it is agriculture, or whether it is defense. We have to go all out. And have to go all out. The first step is, because on the borders, I am confident that my soldier is strong enough to meet the challenge of Pakistan or this Taliban or China or anyone. And there is a political will also now to fight that out. The major threat comes to us from the Talibanis who are in India, who support Taliban, who support Pakistan, or the communists who support China. The internal enemy, historically speaking, we have been defeated because of traitors, not because of the bravery of any intruder. Our braves were very strong, they fought them. We have to take care of those. And let every youth in this country understand that even any single youth's career, his job, his progress is related to the national progress and the strength of the nation. There was a time we were laughed upon. Today, Indians are looked with respect. So we have to do that.
Right, sir. Sir, every discussion which we have with you are, full of facts and full of historically accurate informations. Every time the discussion which we have with you,
There is
and
a small
today
question
also,
coming. Small question I saw.
yes, sir.
You see, in 1947-48 itself, Patel had given a plan that all the
Right.
Hindu refugees which were coming from Pakistan, they should
Okay.
be settled in Jammu and Kashmir.
Achha.
Nehru had stopped it at that time. Nehru had stopped it at that time. But now I see that possibility that not only the Kashmiri Pandits who were evacuated from who were thrown out from there forcibly will be back in Jammu and Kashmir, but there will be more Indian population now moving in and out. It will be an equal right. The Kashmiris can settle anywhere in India, and the Hindus or other Sikhs and others, they can also settle anywhere in Kashmir. At least I am hopeful of that. But let's see what happens. One can't predict on these matters. But I am very hopeful of this aspect.
Right, sir. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
Moses.
I won't take much of your time. I won't take much of your time. It's more than 9. Sir, thank you very much
Please
for
send me
joining.
the
Thank you
link
very
to
much
the
for.
recording. Please send me to the link to the recording because I think you don't have to
Yes,
edit it or something, or you will edit it.
sir. I'll send it to you within 15 minutes
Okay,
after
okay. Thank
finishing the
you very
program.
much.
You
Thank you
know,
very much.
sir, thank you very
Thank you
much
very
for joining us again, and we hope that some other day in future, in recent future, in coming future also,
much. I'd like
with
to speak
any other,
about
with another historical topic, we'll get
something
you.
to do with about Taliban. And someday I
Right.
want to talk to you. Someday I want to talk to about conservation of our heritage.
Conservation of our heritage. Yes, sir,
Heritage.
definitely we will.
Because how our heritage is being lost, how our precious things are being sold out on websites. If you look at it, there needs to be a movement started in the country to stop this kind of
Right.
stealing of our artifacts and our heritage in the country. That needs, and
Right,
I
sir.
think the youngsters must tweet on that and must work on that.
Yes, sir, definitely we will have. So now, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much, sir. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram. Good
Namaskar.
night,
Jai
sir.
Hind.